Hi, my name is Scott Arietta. I'm the CEO and head of strategy at Unity and Company. Thanks so much for attending this month's virtual conversation where we'll be discussing the future of work trends for 2025 and beyond. Today's forum is hosted by Unity and Company. We're the strategic partners that market-leading brands rely on to unify their leadership teams and catalyze cultural transformation. Every month, we host events like these for executives across a variety of industries with the goal of connecting senior leaders and sharing insights that spark conversation and an exchange of ideas that you can bring back with you to your organizations. Now, for a quick overview of our senior team, there's myself. I hold an MBA from Duke University and over 20 years of experience as an HR and operations executive for venture backed startup companies. I specialize in employee engagement strategy, executive coaching, and team effectiveness work. Dr. Sarah Gould is our head of learning experiences. She has many talents, but excels particularly in facilitation, instructional design, and curriculum development. Michelle Alexandrowitz is our head of data and insights. She has a background as a researcher developing custom employee engagement surveys. She also has a background in organizational and clinical psychology. Finally, we have Monica. She's our head of coaching and transformation. Monica has worked with some of the largest and most recognizable logos in the world, namely Apple and Intel, running their global training and quality programs for internationally recognized service and support teams. Let's start our discussion today with an alarming statistic. In a recent survey of HR leaders, Gartner found that only 36% of leaders feel prepared for how work will change over the next 2 years. The workplace is evolving faster than ever. AI, hybrid work, shifting employee expectations, and workforce demographics are reshaping how organizations operate. Yet most HR leaders admit that they don't feel equipped to navigate these changes effectively. Today, we'll dive into 5 key trends that are shaping the future of work and discuss how leaders across different industries are confronting these challenges. Let's dive into our first trend, how AI adoption is reshaping workflows and the corresponding impact that has on leadership. Let's zoom out a bit and take a look at the state of AI implementation across the workplace. In a nutshell, AI adoption is already widespread and is accelerating at breakneck speed. According to a report published by OpenAI late last year, 92% of the Fortune 500 use OpenAI products like ChatGPT and DALL-E. 83% of executives consider AI to be a key strategic priority for the foreseeable future. 70% of employees are already using AI based tools in their professional roles, with a substantial percentage of them using AI tools proactively without formal sponsorship from their organization. Lastly, big companies are making big bets on AI and its potential to transform their organizations. Amazon is investing $100 billion in a complete AI enabled overhaul of their entire supply chain. That being said, AI adoption brings more than its fair share of challenges. Many organizations are implementing AI without a structured plan or alignment to their business objectives. Instead of driving efficiency and growth, AI is often treated as a shiny new tool, implemented in silos without governance or strategic oversight. The result? Missed opportunities for AI to drive real business value, increased operational risks and ethical concerns, and employees who are unsure of how AI fits into their roles. AI should be a business partner, not a standalone experiment. Organizations need a defined AI roadmap, policies on governance, and clear alignment to business goals. The second challenge is a workforce gap that's only growing wider. According to the US Census, 1 in 6 workers will reach retirement age by 2027. This presents a massive talent shortfall, especially in industries already struggling with skills gaps. AI is often positioned as a way to bridge this gap, but without the right talent in place to implement and manage AI, organizations risk falling behind. Businesses must take proactive steps now to develop the next generation of workers while leveraging AI effectively. Another concerning trend is that AI is changing how organizations develop talent, but not always for the better. Many experienced employees are leveraging AI to enhance their individual productivity, but here's the unintended consequence of that. As tenured employees rely more on AI, fewer development opportunities exist for new hires. This directly impacts workforce bench strength, the pipeline of skilled employees ready to step into key roles. And here's what makes this even more concerning. 57% of job candidates value learning new skills over higher pay. If employees don't feel that they're developing new capabilities, they'll leave, creating even greater gaps. Organizations need a strategy to balance AI driven efficiency with human skill development. Now, the fourth challenge: lack of AI literacy and clear rules of engagement. Employees need training on how and when to use AI in their work. Without clear guidelines, AI is either underutilized or misused, creating inconsistency, security risks, and ethical concerns. Organizations must establish AI education programs that set expectations for AI usage, define ethical boundaries, and provide hands on training so employees can integrate AI responsibly. Investing in AI literacy now will pay dividends in adoption, compliance, and innovation well into the future. And finally, fear of AI is eroding workforce engagement. When employees don't understand how AI will impact their roles, it creates uncertainty, stress, and decreased productivity. Their minds automatically gravitate to the worst case scenario. To counter this, organizations need clear, transparent communication on how AI will be used to enhance their jobs and not replace them, on new opportunities for employees to upskill and transition into AI supported roles, and on the company's long term workforce vision in an AI driven world. AI anxiety is real, but with transparency, education, and a people first approach, organizations can build trust and drive successful AI adoption. The second trend we'll discuss is something that we like to call the AI adoption productivity paradox. AI has become a strategic priority for so many, largely because of promises of increased productivity. But without a clear strategy and model for governance, a change effort of this magnitude could actually end up degrading productivity and cause ripple effects throughout the organization that increase frustration and disengagement. Here's a couple of stats that help paint the picture. Only 47% of CIOs believe that their organization's AI initiatives have delivered on their expected benefits, and 20% of employees say that technology adoption over the past 2 years has actually made their job harder. Let's take a look at a few reasons why this might be. The first reason is multi layered ownership. Organizations struggle with AI ownership. AI governance requires both centralized strategic oversight and functional insight. If AI decisions are too centralized, teams lack the flexibility to innovate. If AI is too decentralized, it leads to inconsistent application and inefficiencies. The key is to find a balance: clear governance with room for functional input. The second factor is ambiguous decision rights. Who makes the final call on AI? AI implementations often affect multiple teams, making decision rights unclear. For example, should IT, compliance, or business units dictate AI usage? On the front lines, who takes priority, human discretion or AI recommendations? Without clear ownership, AI adoption stalls or creates friction. Third is inflexible job roles. AI doesn't replace jobs, it changes them. Most job roles today are designed around specific tasks, but AI automates tasks, not entire jobs. When AI is plugged into rigid job structures, we see resistance to change and underutilization of AI's capabilities. The key is that organizations must rethink job design to leverage AI's strengths. The fourth cause is hidden AI related work. AI creates new types of work that often go unnoticed, like increased cognitive load from AI oversight, AI systems monitoring and intervention, and handling a higher concentration of complex cases as AI takes over routine cases. Gradual skill atrophy as workers become over reliant on AI is also an issue. When AI is added without factoring in these hidden challenges, productivity gains can quickly disappear. So, how do we solve the AI productivity paradox? First, we need to redesign workflows to ensure AI enhances rather than disrupts productivity. Second, we need to invest in AI training programs that emphasize augmentation, not replacement, helping employees understand where AI fits in and where human judgment is critical. Next, we need to account for AI related oversight and maintenance. AI quality assurance, monitoring, and adjustments must all be built into workforce planning. As a final thought, AI doesn't just streamline work, it reshapes it. Organizations that proactively address these challenges will unlock AI's true potential. The rise of AI hasn't just changed the way we work, it also changes the way we think about job roles and the people who fill them. We're seeing a shift away from more traditional models to skill based hiring and talent development. Traditional degree based hiring practices have quickly become outdated as AI has transformed the way that we work. The World Economic Forum estimates that 70% of today's job skills will have changed significantly by the year 2030, which is just a few years away. Large employers like Google, Accenture, and IBM have removed degree requirements for thousands of jobs worldwide. There are a few factors driving this change. First, AI is automating and disrupting knowledge based work faster than traditional education programs can keep up with. Second, AI advancement continuously redefines required skills. Third, AI makes it easier to access knowledge and some skills directly without requiring candidates to possess them beforehand. Fourth, AI can help to directly evaluate skills based on actual competence versus using education as a proxy for skill assessment. And lastly, from a practical perspective, in an environment where talent demand exceeds supply, employers are looking for ways to expand their pool of potential talent to remain competitive. The solution then is clear. Employers are shifting to skills based hiring, talent development, and performance management. While DEI practices have become increasingly politicized in recent months, the benefits of well executed DEI programs are well documented. With that being said, we're seeing a shift towards emphasizing inclusion in the wake of all the controversy surrounding DEI. Surprisingly, even with several large employers publicly discontinuing or significantly rolling back their DEI efforts, a majority of the DEI leaders surveyed by Gartner are not planning on making functional changes to their programs in the coming year. In fact, 43% of leaders surveyed said that they intended to make no changes whatsoever to the way they perform their function in 2025. With all the legislative ambiguity and controversy surrounding DEI, some organizations like Costco and McDonald's have decided to shift away from emphasizing diversity and equity and focusing more overtly on inclusion and belonging, specifically on programs that create inclusion and inclusive experiences for all rather than specific groups. While part of the motivation behind this might be due to the current political climate surrounding DEI, it's also happening partly in reaction to a workplace trend of loneliness, isolation, and communication issues among employees that is driving disengagement and lost productivity. About half of employees are dissatisfied with their professional connections with their coworkers, and 30% of employees actively avoid more people at work now versus 2 years ago. The percentage of employees who are satisfied with their relationships with their coworkers has been declining steadily over the past few years. Hence, the rationale behind prioritizing inclusion and belonging. Shifting to inclusion brings significant benefits. Research by Gartner has shown that organizations that invest in creating an inclusive culture achieve significantly higher engagement and higher levels of discretionary effort than organizations with non inclusive cultures. Furthermore, just because diversity is less of an overt focus as it has traditionally been, doesn't mean that it has become irrelevant. Many organizations who are prioritizing inclusion efforts have shifted to using diversity metrics as a way of evaluating the overall effectiveness of their inclusion efforts. For example, if the organization is lagging behind in representation for a particular demographic, that might be an indicator that inclusion efforts are underserving employees within that particular demographic. The last trend we'll dig into today is the rise of optimized hybrid working models. Let's start with why hybrid work matters in today's job market. 48% of job seekers prefer hybrid work models. 24% want fully remote jobs. The implication here is clear. Hybrid work is no longer just an option, it's an expectation. Companies that ignore this shift risk losing talent to more flexible employers. Then there's a productivity advantage. 35% greater productivity has been reported by remote employees compared to in office employees, and 40% fewer errors are made by remote employees than their in office counterparts. This isn't just about flexibility, it's about performance. Employees who work remotely or in hybrid models are more productive and make fewer mistakes. Organizations that embrace hybrid work gain four key benefits: improved productivity, reduced attrition risk, expanded candidate pools, and lower operational costs. However, success requires intentional leadership and the right support structures. Some challenges that organizations have to overcome while designing hybrid solutions are outdated management models. Traditional in-office oversight just doesn't translate well to hybrid work. Poor performance tracking. Measuring effectiveness based on presence instead of impact leads to inefficiencies. Disconnection and loneliness. Remote employees can feel isolated if engagement strategies aren't intentional. And communication barriers. Without the right tools and habits, collaboration can suffer. To implement an optimized hybrid model, organizations must invest in key enablers to make hybrid work more sustainable. Management training. Leaders need to manage performance, engagement, and collaboration in a remote first world. Outcome and skills based performance management. Focus on results, not hours worked. Inclusive team building experiences. Hybrid work shouldn't mean isolation. Teams need structured ways to connect and collaborate. Workplace conversations training and nudge tech reinforcement. Now, nudge tech is an emerging field of AI tools that help provide real time guidance on behavioral reinforcement for employees. I'll close this section by saying that hybrid work is not just an employee preference, it's a business advantage. Companies that get it right will attract top talent, improve performance, and stay ahead in the modern workplace. We want to thank you all for taking the time to be here with us today. As we wrap up our time, we have a couple final pieces of value that we'd like to offer you. If you were the only person to attend from your organization and you wish that you weren't, just reach out to us and we'll be happy to do an encore presentation for others in your organization. If something we talked about today sparked your interest and you're interested in understanding how we could potentially partner together in the future, we'd also love to spend some time connecting with you so that we can understand your needs and share more about our capabilities. If you'd like to receive a recording of today's talk, as well as some notes, just reach out to info@unityandcompany.com and we'll be sure to send those your way. And lastly, as I mentioned earlier, don't hesitate to reach out if you want to take advantage of our offer to do a complimentary management drives assessment for you and a live debrief. Thanks so much.